We are studying about good health and the right food. The class was pleased when I told them that one of our health projects was to be a field trip to a television station where they're producing a program about nutrition. Many of the class had never seen a TV studio, so the program's producer explained.
Are an important food use of the grains we grow. The story of good foods made from cereal grains begins on the farm. Barley, one of the earliest known grains, grows mainly in the temperate regions. The United States produces about half the world's corn crop, principally in the Corn Belt states. Oats are grown in many states throughout the country. Rice is grown on coastal plains, deltas, and river basins in tropical and temperate regions. There are many different kinds of wheat, and it is raised in a wide area. Abundant, wholesome grains are grown and harvested through hard work, modern machines, and skill of farmers. After harvesting, cereal grains are weighed, graded, cleaned, and stored at grain elevators. Then they're shipped to the cereal processing plants. Cereal grains are constantly checked for quality, purity, and uniformity. Every stage in processing, packaging, and distribution of breakfast cereals is carefully controlled to maintain high quality and freshness. Cereals are flaked, granulated, puffed, shredded, and rolled. This makes the good grain flavors available in their most convenient form, appetizing breakfast cereals that taste good. Scientifically controlled processing based on research helps to retain the food values of grains. Whether whole grain, enriched, or restored, breakfast cereals provide a wide variety of nutrients. Test kitchens in cereal plants are staffed with home economists who constantly develop and test recipes, find new consumer uses, and prepare descriptive literature. They are the homemaker's representative. All hot and ready-to-eat cereal packages are properly filled and sealed to ensure fresh flavor and wholesomeness. The cereal industry has a packaging code. Ingredients, nutrition information, and net weight are clearly stated on all packages. Cereals are carefully packaged and shipped to be sure they reach the consumer in factory fresh form. Whole grain, enriched, or restored breakfast cereals are included in one of the 4 necessary food groups recommended by government nutrition experts in a daily food guide. It's easy to combine foods from several essential food groups into a good basic breakfast of fruit or juice, and a glass of milk. Could a good breakfast make a difference in your feelings, your actions, schoolwork? Scientific experiments were conducted at a medical college in an effort to find the answers to these and other questions. 3 scientific tests were given over a 10-week period, twice a week, always between 11 a.m. and noon. For purposes of comparison, the students being tested omitted breakfast for 5 weeks, and for the next 5 weeks, they ate good breakfasts. Reaction time, time to make up your mind, was tested to determine how fast a correct decision could be made. Steadiness or neuromuscular tremor was measured. Work output was checked as the student rode at maximum effort for 1 minute. Results of these tests show that it's smart to eat breakfast, for when breakfast was omitted, the students took longer to make decisions, were less steady, and work output was less. The cereal and milk serving contributes complete protein together with essential vitamins and minerals. Whether you want to gain or lose weight, or stay the same, eating an adequate breakfast is important. The research proved scientifically that when you eat a good breakfast, you're more likely during the late morning hours to work and play better, to be sharper in your thinking and action. You'll be calmer and steadier, and have more fun and enjoyment every day. Good breakfast habits aid you in getting higher grades. Here's a basic cereal and milk breakfast. It gives you about 1/4 of the food needed for the whole day. Fruit or juice, cereal, milk, bread and butter is a good basic breakfast. And for variety, eggs, breakfast meats, or other foods may be added. A good breakfast is a wise choice for the whole family. It gets everyone off to a good start each day. Well, that's our health and nutrition television program, Better Breakfasts USA.
Our field trip gave us valuable health and nutrition information. As a result of our trip, the class put on its own Better Breakfast campaign for the whole school. The students formed committees, and everyone had a job. One group gave short talks to the other classes on the value of a good breakfast. Some students did research on the meaning of restored, enriched, and whole grain. Another committee conducted a survey in the school lunchroom, asking questions about breakfast habits. One of the students showed a film strip about the Iowa breakfast studies from our film strip library. It demonstrated that when you eat a good breakfast, you are sharper in your thinking and action, calmer and steadier, and work better, especially in the late morning hours. A bulletin board exhibit prepared by the class helped us review the story of cereal grains, which I'm happy to say is also being reviewed every morning personally. Yes, good health begins with good nutrition. Good nutrition begins with a better breakfast. And cereals are part of a better breakfast.